Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are based and or wherever you are watching this rerun of the show. My name is Cyrus. I'm the CEO of When Did You Know and the proud creator of Whisper Boy podcast. So get out of my way, microphone. There you go. Whisper Boy podcast. So right. I couldn't find a bigger microphone. Sorry, guys. So, so yeah, that happened. I have the pleasure of introducing to you guys Zara from zarapod.com. I have tonight we have Chietza from African AI Auntie, and we have Sean Daily Power Boost. He is a genius, and so is she. Everybody in this live event tonight are geniuses. I'm a very selective person, right? And I always pick the best of the bunch. I always do that. And tonight is no exception. I've done the same thing again. I always bring the best to you guys. I always bring the best, okay? So, now, why are we here? Let's have a quick round of introductions and then jump right into the subject of tonight's show. It's a very important and compelling discussion. 10 ways university graduates can use podcasting to build a career, right? Do we all have to do it? No, only if you like your future. So without any further ado, I'm going to go to Zara Camp, my co-pilot and co-creator of Spotlight. Zara, please go ahead.
Hi guys, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us again on Spotlight. As you can see, guys, you'll see the link, not the link. My website is downstairs. It's not downstairs. It's there. So
The bottom
it's
of the screen, yeah.
zarapod.com. I am the proud founder of Real Talk Reclaimed, and now I am the collaborative director. It's a lot of work that we do. We currently have two very incredible people. I'm going to pass the mic on to African AI Auntie, who will cover what she does, who she is. And yes, thank you very much, guys, for being with us again. So,
thank you, Zara, and thank you, Cyrus, for having us here on your show with Sean. So my name is Chiedza Nyahuye, and I'm introducing myself as African AI Auntie. And what I mainly do is that I help to equip African youth and innovators with tools to build online businesses and solve problems using AI. And so my mission is basically to spark Africa's digital revolution and empower creators to design their own futures. And with that, I'll hand it over back to you, Cyrus.
Thank you so much. I have the pleasure of introducing Sean Michael to you guys. Sean, please, I'm sure everyone's curious to know, just like they are curious to know more about Chietza, that they're curious to know about you. I found you. I was lucky enough to find you on LinkedIn in one of Any Osung's live events. And back then, I think it was an audio event. And I was thinking, I listened to this guy. And the things that he says is so kind of like Tony Robbins kind of line of work and then some, okay, and some. So I became really interested in what you do. A year and a half on, I think a year on, now I have the pleasure of presenting you to my audience. I am excited, Sean. Please let our audience know who you are, what you do, and what is it that brings you out of bed every morning when you wake up, and what's your passion, what you do, and why you do what you do. Please go ahead.
So, you know how even top level coaches, founders, entrepreneurs, they struggle with imposter thoughts, that the minute they let off the gas, somebody will find them out. So my goal is to work with them to, as my title says, disrupt their current identity and reset it to their true identity so that their external success and their internal blueprint align. I'm the founder of Daily Power Boost podcast, Ignite Your Potential. It's been going on daily episode, bite-sized actionable content nearly every day since November of last year. And I'm honored to be here with you, Cyrus and Zara, and to share meet the African AI auntie, Chiedza. AI created that background for me. So I'm definitely about using it to our advantage.
Thank you so much. So show of hands for next question, yeah? So please be brutally honest. Have you been scared by the speed of AI and how fast it's been taking over some people's jobs and has been creating new opportunities? And have you been scared? Have you been excited? I have been excited, right? How about you guys? Yeah, excited? Scared or excited?
I'm more excited.
Excited. Zara?
Excited. It's very interesting to use. Yeah, excited.
Sean?
Definitely excited. I actually heard a lot of people talk about AI taking jobs. AI is not taking jobs. People using AI are going to take your job.
That's what we did. That's what we said. Was it 2 sessions ago? Was it 2 nights ago or last night? That's exactly what we said as well. It's not, let me put it this way. Guns don't kill people. People kill people, right? So AI doesn't sacrifice jobs. People sacrifice jobs using AI, okay? So it's how we use it. It's what we do with it. I know the line of work that African AI auntie Chiedza is doing is one of the most valuable ones. Why do I think so? Because I've done my research on her. And tonight we're going to discuss a few things that she covers in her line of work. Chiedza covers in her line of work. And also we're going to use the other guests' abilities and experiences to make your life, my audience, I'm talking to you now, to make your life easier. If you're a graduate and you want to build a career for yourself, use AI. AI, as we said last night, is sacrificing low-skilled job positions, not high-skilled ones. Okay, so some people are using it for good. Some people are using it for less than good purposes, right? So the first thing, if you just graduate, and by the way, if you're on the brink of retirement, if you're contemplating like early retirement or retirement, please remember this could be for you as well, because a career is a career, right? Some people, like perhaps like your dad, like your granddad, they are not retirable, if that's the word. So they do not want to get retired. They just don't, right? I know someone like Keith Keller from Australia. He's one of my friends. The guy doesn't, I think he's retired, but the guy doesn't want to get retired. Okay? You cannot retire this guy. Okay? The dude is in his 50s or 60s or whatever his age is. He has just started another show. Is it his first show? Hell no. Is it his last show? No. He's you know him, Sean, don't you? Keith Keller? Yeah. So he's a genius. Just Google him. You'll find out who.
Cyrus, it's odd. He just mentioned Sean. So he just said, yeah, he said Shawn Michael coaching driven leaders to unlock unshakable confidence and purpose. So that's the one that he said.
Is he watching the show?
I sent him the link. I sent him the link. So
okay.
He said he's going to.
Yeah, Keith, if you're watching, you inspired me to create more shows and be a host, and you inspire me, and I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. The world needs more people like you, Keith. So the first thing that we're going to cover is turn knowledge into content. I don't think I need to expand on this one, but please remember, graduates can transform what they studied into practical, engaging podcast episodes. As an example, a psychology graduate might share mental health insights, while an engineering graduate could break down the tech trends for non-experts. Please always remember, whatever you know, please do not downplay what you know, okay? Please don't sell yourself short, as they say. Whatever you know, turn it into a podcast episode. There are millions of people who need your knowledge. Not everyone goes to university. If you've been lucky enough to go to university, please share your knowledge. And there will be sponsors, there will be buyers, there will be customers for you, and do not miss out on the opportunity. Alternatively, you can sit down in your couch and doom scroll and on and on and on. Watch Instagram reels and TikTok and stuff like that. You can waste your time as well. Yeah, it's a free world, right? But please remember, there's no career in wasting your time. Okay, so that was one of the tactics you can use. So turn your knowledge into content, right? I think we always turn knowledge into content, don't we? So that's something that that's the nature of content. It's some sort of knowledge you share it with people, right? And so the point is, just like Chiedza argues in her book, it's not a trophy. It's just a degree, right? A degree doesn't guarantee anything. I know people who don't have a degree, but they are making millions. They're making thousands every hour, right? So it's it is a really good thing. So degree doesn't guarantee. I have 2 of them, and I'm not using. Well, yeah, I am using, but at the same time, I'm not using them. I'm sat here, and I am monetizing what I know, right? And it's not. I didn't necessarily learn them in uni. So the next thing I want to share with you guys: do what African AI Auntie did. Build a personal brand. Do what Sean did. Do what Sean did. Do what Cap did.
Cyrus, yeah, you can hear it.
Your microphone is garbled, my dear. Sorry.
The robots have taken over.
Yeah.
AI is coming for you, Cyrus.
I think he's asking me to take over for a bit.
Okay, so while Cyrus fixes his sound, remember, guys, go on to www.whisperboy.com. I think it was about a week ago, Cyrus spoke about the how to find your brand. What type of brand can you be? So do you remember, Cyrus, there was a thing about the mirror and then other parts of it. So go and find that and do the quiz and then understand what type of brand you need to be, I guess. African AI Auntie, I have a question to ask you, and then I have one for Sean. You do a lot of what you do using AI to produce the material that you need. Do you find that there is a particular type, because it's not just AI you're using something else, correct? to produce, for example, content?
Well, what I'm finding easier for myself to use these days is actually ChatGPT and Sora, because believe me, I've been through dozens of different AI tools, especially because being a storyteller, I was looking for something that can help me create stories through animation or whichever way that I could, to be able to better show the story rather than tell it as well. So lately, for example, the background behind me right now is all through ChatGPT. I went through several versions of it because, like we even mentioned a few conversations ago, with every AI tool, you need to train it to produce what you want. It's not going to do it the first time round. I even for this one to come out, I'm not kidding you how many times I'd even type in, okay, now you're really frustrating me. Do you understand what I am asking you to do? Please respond. And then it responds. And it lists all the stuff that I wanted to do. And so I said, okay, well done. Now do it. Nope. It gives me another version. I'm like, dude, how do I so yes. So I call it a dude, but I should call it a dudette. I don't know. But it's one of those things. So I have this friend of mine, Lonnie, and we always say it was like having a wrestling match with ChatGPT, but also applying emotional intelligence. It is a tool. It's not going so I need to figure out and balance as I work with it, right? I know what I want. Some days it gives me excellent stuff. Like, for example, a video I think I posted about my building process of African AI Auntie. And it gave me beautiful pictures that are aligned, and I did the narration underneath it, and I put them together on Filmora. I was like, see, you get me now. Yeah. Next day, completely different story. So yeah, so yeah, it's an ongoing game of teaching, refining, patience, having your moments of frustration. But yes, going back directly to your answer, there are various tools, but my mainstay these days is ChatGPT and Sora because they are a great balance for what I want to create. And all the other tools, I tried and they failed me.
Perfect. Sean, the same question is for you before I pass the mic back to Cyrus. So for you, how do you find ChatGPT using it?
So ChatGPT is definitely my workhorse. It's the first one I go to because it knows it. I've fed it my self-generated information. It knows about me. It knows about my son, my story, my history. So, and my brand voice, which is steel-spined, soft heart. And so it's the workhorse. But as Chiedza said, it's like a 5-year-old. Sometimes it does what you want it to, and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't. So I do use other tools like Claude for editing because Claude does better with longer written text. I started using it originally because ChatGPT's input was so limited and Claude had such a big one. And actually, Claude has something called MCPs where you can actually link it. Like I can link it to my CRM on Go High Level, etc. So it's very useful that way. Nano Banana for graphics, which is it was a mysterious graphic image tool that nobody knew who it was, and then Google goes, "Oh, that's part of Gemini." It was out for several months, but I could actually take a picture of Cyrus and Chiedza and you and me, separate pictures, and Nano Banana could put us all together at the Empire State Building or wherever we want. It's that good. You can get it. Like, let's say you're like, Zara, you're wearing an orange shirt and you're like, orange didn't really work on that show. Let me change it to yellow. Boom, it'll change it to yellow.
Oh, wow.
They're calling it the Photoshop killer because it does very well at not altering. ChatGPT, my wife gave it a picture. I gave it a picture. She's like, our couch is horrible. I said, make a new couch. It put her on a new couch. She put the same picture into ChatGPT, turned her face into old man face.
You know, my auntie was so upset the other day. I said, well, why are you so upset? And he said, my husband, like they're both retired, like husband and wife retired, right? My husband keeps mixing his face with celebrities and brings them to me, brings the outcome to me. Like if we had children, this would the way our child would look like. And then she was like, I don't want it. I don't want to see what my the way the child looks, a child of my husband and some celebrity. I don't want that. And then like all day, he's like, oh, come here, come have a look. Me and Kardashian. And then she's like, I don't want to know. So yeah, some people use it for kind of light-hearted jokes, and some people use it for serious heavy lifting, just like Sean said, like editing an element for creating a personal brand, right? So that's where we left off. So we're going to pick it back up from there, build a personal brand. And by the way, if you're watching the show on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, thank you so much for watching the show with us. You are watching Zara Camp, Sean Michael, Chietza from African AI Auntie, and myself, Cyrus from Whisperboy. We're talking about 10 ways university graduates can use podcasting to build a career. So the item that I was explaining about before my microphone got disabled, for which I do apologize. So build a personal brand. So what's a brand? A brand is nothing but a promise. It's not the logo. A brand is a promise. Okay, so you create something and you promise to keep that going for as long as you live. And after you, other people after you will keep it going, right? So, you know, there are people who create, I don't know, sweets, bread, beer, and their business has been going on for like 250, 300 years, 250 years, 300 years. How do you think that works, guys? Generation after generation to keep that promise, right? A brand is a promise. A brand is beyond your logo. Your logo is the visual representation of referring to you. It's a way of referring to you. It's a way of remembering you, right? But what do people remember you as after they see your logo? That's the main thing, okay? So this is how you thrive in the market, okay? Create something, stick with it for as long as you can, and develop it. So if you just graduated, please remember, by hosting a podcast, graduates showcase their expertise, curiosity, and personality. Over time, this helps them stand out in the crowded job market, attract followers, and even open doors to speaking gigs, consulting, or media features. You know, every single person who's in this show right now, who's on this show right now, they are a legend in their own rights. Zara, Sean, and Chietza, they are so good. I invited them to our show because, as you already know, Spotlight is like a spotlight for podcasts. That's why it's called a Spotlight, SPODLIGHT. So, I'd like to congratulate Chietza for deciding on becoming a podcaster as well. Well done, girl. You deserve it. You go, girl. So
thank you for coaching me.
Oh, no problem at all. The next thing I wanted to say, guys, is monetize with sponsors or partnerships. So become a podcaster or a YouTuber for long enough. Stick with it for like a year or two. And then because of your consistency, sponsors will approach you, right? Sponsors will approach you. They will come to you and say, so how long have you been doing this? And how can we work together, right? So it opens a lot of doors, okay? It opens the door to Narnia, I'm telling you, right? I'm not asking you to open that cupboard and walk backward in it and expect to end up in a magical land. No, I'm not saying that. Not in its mystical way, right? Realistically speaking, joking aside, you can monetize your knowledge and your area of expertise, right? People want to purchase something. People want to purchase something, right? If they know you, if you hear it from you, they're like, oh, actually, I wanted to buy a book on podcasting. I wanted to buy a book on branding. Okay, so I'm going to buy Cyrus's branding. Okay, how arrogant of me, eh? So, so that was just that was just an example. So Sean says a personal brand is the intersection of your identity at your core, your expression, voice, style, presence, and your perception, what others get. By the way, Sean, we're going to have a show just for what you just posted, right? Because it's really important. So we're going to have personal branding shows focusing on what you just mentioned. So, and thank you for posting that. It's significant. This is important, guys. If you just joined the show, please remember we're talking about how graduates can employ their knowledge and turn it into a podcast. Okay, so when you turn yourself and your brand into a podcast, you're always in people's ears, right? You're always in their head, and you're always on top of their mind, right? Top of the mind. So when they want to buy something, they will come to you initially, right? So the next item that we want to cover is, so please remember, monetization is one way of making money out of podcasts, because sponsors and partnership. Look at my partnership with Zara. Look at our partnership with African AI Auntie, right? And now with Sean. Hopefully in the near future we'll have collaboration with Sean as well. We've just introduced him to our community. He's not new in the market. He's been in the market for a long. When I say market, I'm talking about international market, not just Guatemala, not just the United States. He's made a good name. Well done on everything you've achieved, Sean. You are inspiring. The next item that we want to cover is offer podcast services. That's what Zara does, right? So learning the behind the scene skills, editing, sound design, publishing, and promotion. Like this can help you. Okay, these things that if you learn them, editing, sound design, publishing, and promotion, these things create opportunities to work as a podcast producer or editor. Many businesses who don't have their own podcasts, they will come to you, right? In the same way they have come to us, right? So many businesses, authors, and entrepreneurs want a podcast but don't have the skills or time to run it. So people who don't have podcasts, they either don't have the skill or they don't have the time. Either way, go to Zara Camp. She will help you. She will set you up. How difficult do you think it's going to be? Are you scared? Are you scared of the app? Are you scared of the software? Please don't be. Because I'm going to share a secret with you. It doesn't matter if you're not familiar with the software. If you learn 20 to 25 things about that particular software, you're in, my friend. You're in. Okay? So it can be scary a tiny bit. The same way you learn how to ride a bike. Did you want to add something, Sean? No. Okay. So moving on. Number 5. Okay. Out of the 10 ways graduates can use podcasting to build a career, create educational products. Right. So graduates can expand their podcast into online courses. Okay, so let's say you created a podcast episode, then you have the script afterwards. You don't have to write the script first. A lot of people are really idealistic about their podcast. They want to write it down first. They want it to be perfect. By the way, people don't care if you're perfect or not perfect. What people care about is that if you can help them solve a problem. Yeah, men and women come to the market with their purses and their wallets, ready to pay. Are they buying your perfection, or are they buying into your problem-solving skills? Of course, your problem-solving skills, right? I don't care how tall that man or woman is who makes the pizza in the pizza shop. I pay for the pizza and I politely leave, and I say thank you, and I'll leave and eat my pizza. So where is your focus? Is your focus on perfection, or is your focus on problem solving, right? So please remember, you are perfect as you are. Okay? You are a 1%er. You belong to that 1% of content creators on LinkedIn, as an example. Only 1% of people create content, or perhaps less, I don't know. So the rest consume. Okay, so if you are smart enough to be a graduate, and you're smart enough to want to develop your skills and create your own empire, right? Your God, Mother Nature, or whatever you believe in will back you up. And so will your community, right? You will succeed. Trust me, right? You will. You can't fail. Even if you fail, you will learn, you pivot a little bit, and you create a different brand, or do something else. But please, please, please do not give up. Whatever you do, do not give up. That's my message to you tonight, okay? So create educational products. So graduates can expand their podcasts into online courses, workshops, or coaching programs. Their podcast acts as free marketing, attracting learners who are willing to pay for deeper, structured teaching. So you give them, you basically, when people come to this podcast, they sample things, right? So as an example, if people like this episode, what they will do is they will buy Sean's book. If they like what Sean's saying, they will purchase Sean's book. To give you an example, Sean's book, Sean Michael. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna show you. By the way, if Sean wasn't on this podcast, we wouldn't be able to promote her, would we? So you need to become a guest sometimes. You need to be a guest sometimes on other people's shows, right? If Chietza wasn't here, would we be able to give her a mention? I don't think so. Now, I'm gonna show Sean Michael here. Sean Michael is a leadership and transformational coach for high-performing entrepreneurs, executives, and founders who are ready to break free internal limitations and achieve their next level of success. So you can find him on X, formerly known as Twitter. So the links that is provided here: Daily Power Boost, Ignite Your Potential Podcast, Reclaim Your Identity 5-Day Challenge, Real Mastery Hub, True North, Your Guide to an Intentional Life. I think my whole education was wasted on me. I couldn't even read that. So True North, Your Guide to an Intentional Life, and Career Coaching Secrets is one of the episodes that he's created. The Pitbull Mindset. So as you can see, guys, it is possible to create your knowledge. Transform your knowledge from what's happening inside your head, externalize it into content, right? So we went as far as number 5. Now let's go to number 6. Step into journalism and storytelling. Guys, you know when you sat down with your friend and you tell them something about what happened yesterday? That's storytelling. Please don't tell me I'm not a storyteller. Some people come to me and say, oh, well, I'm not worthy of being listened to. I said, you're telling me a story. That's your story. That's your internal story right now. You just externalize it. You're telling me that you are not worthy of being listened to. That in itself is a story. You're telling me your story right now. And I refuse to accept that. Don't tell me you're not a storyteller. What if I accept your story right now? I'm going to say, move. Right? I want to talk to someone who is capable of storytelling and knows it. Right? You know, when you see someone who's really pretty or really good looking and they also know it, right? They have this swagger about them, right? So those are more attractive than attractive people who don't know it and they don't acknowledge it, their own attractiveness, right? So that's how some brands act and behave, right? So you need to be a fantastic brand and you need to know it, right? Every day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, we are all in the business of proving a point. What is your point? Are you trying to prove to me that you're not capable? Well done. If you think you can or if you think you can't, you're probably right. Henry Ford, right? So the story you tell yourself, just externalize it. Bring it out, right? Tell people that story. In the same way Chiedza did. She said yesterday, it was yesterday actually, Yesterday she said, my journey started 21 years ago. Not a joke. Seriously. That is a lifetime. That is a lifetime of resilience. Many lesser people would have quit by now, wouldn't they? They would have. And statistically, many people have quit. And in the space of 21 years, if you try 21 years and you haven't achieved the success that you want, potentially you could quit. Okay, so, and for those of us who just graduated, please remember, journalism and storytelling is going to open a lot of doors to you. Okay, use AI, use podcasting to your advantage, because AI is coming for a lot of job opportunities, and it's going to take them away. Okay, so please don't take one of those jobs which is at the risk of getting made redundant. So podcasting is now a recognized media path. Okay, so graduates with interest in storytelling, writing, or research can build careers in investigative podcasts, documentary style, and entertainment productions. After this, we're going to go to number 7. Number 7, use it as a networking tool. So yeah, some people use their podcast as a networking tool, right? Because why not? That's a phenomenal idea, isn't it? Because you talk about things. I am talking about Sean and Chiedza, and I'm talking about Zara, and I'm talking about Whisper Boy. That's me telling a story. Then I record it and I publish it, and other people look at it and they're like, "Oh, by the way, have you got a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. Please have a look. Tell me what you think." That's networking. Oh, who was that? Who was that guy at the corner of the screen, like top left corner? Oh, that's Sean. He's my friend, right? I'm proud of him. Who was that girl? Oh, that's Zara from Zara. Zara Camp from Zarapod. Who's that lady? Oh, well, African AI auntie. Haven't you heard of her? It's her website. Go and check her, right? So go and check her out. So it's a conversation starter when you create a podcast. And by the way, you don't have to do it every day, right? But you have to think about it every day. You have to design it in your head every day, right? You have to network every day, right? So just to put it simply, I'm going to say a podcast makes it easier to reach industry leaders, CEOs of companies, professors, and professionals by inviting them on as guests. Talk to your old teachers. When I say old teachers, I'm not talking about their age. I'm talking about like the teachers you've had in the past, right? Talk about your school teachers, right? Invite them to the show. By the way, this lady was my teacher 12 years ago, as an example, right? Or this gent is my I don't know, is my coach from college days, right? From my back in the college days. So invite them, and they will say really funny anecdotes about you, right? And I'm not gonna invite them because their anecdotes aren't going to be funny. Trust me. I wasn't exactly lovely when I was a kid. So anyway, I'm joking. I was. So the next thing is, this is how a podcast can help you showcase your skills to employers. How many people do you know who say, "Oh, employers don't employ me"? I'm like, are you highly employable? Have you developed all the skills that tells the employers what you're made of? No. Have you worked on your CV? Yes, that's good. That's good. Work on your CV. Always work on your CV. Always update it, right? And somehow you have to show the employers what you're made of, right? So instead of only sending out CVs, university graduates can show initiative and communicate, show initiative and communication skills through their podcast. So your podcast is a stage. It's like an extension of your CV plus your personality, right? Employers see a living portfolio of research, consistency, and thought leadership. Why wouldn't they want to employ you then, right? And by the way, if you started a podcast and it becomes like famous, go towards the direction of getting sponsors rather than getting employers, right? Your podcast is a tool that's going to help you with freedom. Why should you go back to 9-to-5 employment? Right? Okay. If you can escape that 9-to-5 employment, the traditional employment, why not escape it and build a career out of your podcasting? So showcase your skills, and employers would love that. Okay. And put it on LinkedIn, by the way. LinkedIn is a glorified CV, isn't it? So and a networking tool as well. The next item, number 9, grow communities and events. Right? Grow communities and events. So people who say they haven't succeeded in their career, I guarantee you they haven't created a community on Facebook, on whatever platform, you name it, right? They have not done that. And if they've done it, they just gathered followers. They're not communicating with them, right? Your followers are not an indicator of your success. I know people who are struggling to get clients on LinkedIn with over 70,000 followers. Like, how can you not be successful with over 70,000 followers? How? It's just beyond me, right? So your followers are just following you, but are you leading them? Are you a leader? They are followers, okay? What they do is clear. They're just following you, but are you leading them? Have you created a thought process for them to succeed, for them to follow you? Please think about these questions. You don't have to answer them to me, but if you do, please go to the comments and mention them in the comments. I would be grateful. Omar, thank you so much for joining us. He's the Zoom party host on YouTube. Is a successful host. We love Omar, and we've got so that's Sean answering Omar. So okay, so next item that we want to cover is so grow communities and events. Okay, so this part is one of the most important ones. Podcasts naturally build audiences. Okay, you create a podcast. What do people do? They download it. People recommend podcasts, and really, really clever podcasters, after they created the podcast, they put it on an article on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on any platform they want, really. And they add that podcast episode in the body of that article, of that post, as we call it. Then the search engines will find that content and present it to people who are searching for similar type of content. So once you created your episode, please definitely copy your script and paste it into the body of a blog and put your podcast episode in it with a link, right? With like a play button. That will increase the chances of your episodes becoming popular. I don't want to use the word viral, because what's the point of getting viral but not communicating with your community, right? So please make sure you write down the script. Not everyone can hear. Not everyone can hear your voice, right? Some people are not capable of hearing, right? Please write down your script and make it more accessible, right? And not everyone can read because not everyone can see, right? Some people are visually impaired. For those people, podcasting is a top choice. Okay, please do create podcasts for them as well. Always think audience, community, right? Always think of your end user. And so we were saying graduates can transform listeners into active community through live shows, meetups, or online groups. This creates opportunities for event tickets, memberships, and merchandise. Okay, so when you create a podcast, naturally you're going to create it, and hopefully you're going to have a podcast. Some people don't have podcasts, some people don't have websites. If you have a podcast, please create a website for it. And that increases the chances of you becoming more famous in that line of work, because websites are indexed through search engines, aren't they? So please always remember that. The next item, guys, or should I say the last item? Build long-term media ownership. What starts as a single show can evolve into a podcast network or media company. That's what we did from the very beginning, right? I'm going to say that again. What starts as a single show can evolve into a podcast network or media company. Please, guys, remember this. Big fires start from small sparks. So graduates can treat podcasting like a business. Finding sponsors, hiring a team. I would say developing a team is much better than just hiring a team. And developing multiple shows can create sustainable careers that extend well beyond the original degree. So you start small and develop a team of like-minded people like yourself, and then you take it from there. So thank you so much for listening to the 10 ways university graduates can use podcasting to build a career. As I said before, if you are a retired person or you're about to retire, please, if you just joined us, please watch this show from the beginning again. And those of you who sit down and watch every minute of my shows and every minute of Zara's shows, thank you so much. You could be doing anything while you're watching our shows. You could be anywhere, but you are with us. That tells us you are a part of our community. If you didn't know, welcome to our community. You are a part of it. So now regarding what Chiedza is doing, I would like to take a few moments and invite you to think, what is this lady doing? So remember, guys, she could be doing anything. She could be anywhere, but she's doing this and she's here. Okay. So let's make sure we listen to what she's got to say, and let's make sure we understand why she's doing what she's doing. So, Chieta, I just wanted to ask you to graduate person, right? Who just fresh out of college, fresh out of uni, and they feel nobody will listen to me. I'm not worthy of being listened to. We had that a few days ago, right? We get clients who tell us these things. What would you tell them? Because we get that question a lot. Okay. What is your advice to them? Because you one of the few people who actually has been on this show who's extremely successful, but didn't start as an employable person. You felt like nobody employs you. You felt the frustration at the beginning of your career, just like you said to us on the discovery call a few weeks ago. So what is your advice? What is a few words of wisdom to a person who says, well, nobody will listen to me if I create a podcast. Nobody will listen to me if I try to use AI to create my own business. So what is your advice to these people? Please share with us. We'd love to know your view on this. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Sure, Cyrus. So my advice to you as a recent graduate, first of all, think of your resume or how you want to present yourself to an employer as you telling your story. So I, just like you, when I graduated from university, and nobody told me anything about even writing a resume. It was my sister who was working in a bank who even showed me how to write a resume. So what I learned 4 years ago when I pivoted into the tech industry through SV Academy, actually, was basically how can you show your future employer or your future audience who you are and what you can do. So the way that we would do it is basically pick a problem that you've solved, right? Because that demonstrates, okay, you describe what the situation was, what action you took, right? What were the results of you taking that action, and then link that to whichever audience or employer so they can see how you would operate within their company or their industry, right? The way that you write your resume, ChatGPT is fantastic with doing this. Because even if you have a current resume right now, you can put it into ChatGPT and say, okay, create this in a story type telling fashion, and then even ask it to create it as a script for you, right? Because in this day and age, everything's on video, right? That's how people are busy scrolling and trying to get people's attention. So a way that we did it when I was working at SV Academy and coaching people who were transitioning their careers into the tech industry was, okay, let's develop a 60-second video introducing yourself to whichever prospective employer, right? So you can do this even just for yourself as a practice. So again, the framework I gave you, give an example of a problem that you solved and what is the impact of you solving it. That demonstrates not only your ability to assess problems, your skills at being able to address and solve problems. And keep in mind, the main skill that most employers want are problem solvers, right? Can you deliver results? When faced with certain situations, how are you going to handle it? Will you freeze up or will you be resourceful and figure out ways to solve and bring solutions? So when it comes to introducing yourself, again, I would advise you, create a little short script. ChatGPT is fantastic at doing that. Practice it and even memorize it. Use your phone, record yourself, and voila. That's a way that you can introduce yourself to people. So even when you submit your resume, add the video as a follow-up and say, this is who I am, so they can see your personality. I'll give you an example when I did it, even just to introduce myself to possible partners or people I just wanted to pick their brain about certain things. They actually said they fell in love with me before they even met me because of how I presented myself on a video. So I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm shy about videos. I don't think people will believe me, etc. Well, it's like with any muscle, right? If you want to be noticed, you have to find a way to stand out. So that's my advice to graduates. Cyrus, you still there?
Thank you so much, Chieta. You never cease to amaze me. This was fantastic advice. And so, for those of you who are watching Spotlight or listening to Spotlight tonight, just go to Chieta's website, africanaionti.com. You don't necessarily have to be in Africa or from Africa. Her target audience predominantly, and the area where she's trying to develop is Africa. Yes, that's right. However, if you're nice and send her a nice message and say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Chieta, can I please ask? Then ask your question. She won't let you down. She will answer.
And just a slight correction, since I'm still developing African AI Auntie, find me on LinkedIn. My business page is also African AI Auntie on LinkedIn, and even my name, Chieza Nyahuye. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's the easiest way to DM me, and I respond very quickly that way.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, Zara, people are coming to you to get interviewed, right? So to appear on your show. One of them was Sean. Sean, when were you interviewed on Zara's show?
On Real Talk Reclaimed, it was today's Wednesday, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. What was your experience like? And what did you guys talk about?
We talked a lot about like my core pretense, which is identity and human needs. Looking at a lot of coaches use Myers-Briggs or DISC, which I do use, but then I bring in a third dimension, which is the 6 human needs that every human being on this planet is chasing. Sometimes we're meeting those needs in positive ways. Sometimes we're using negative behaviors, but everything we do is driven by one of those needs.
To give us an example, what would you say out of the 6 needs, of course, out of the 6 ones, right? Which one would you say is right now in the post-AI world is affecting the university graduates, which is who are the subject of tonight's show, right? So which one of them is affecting them heavily? And what is your advice to, if they are lacking in that department, how would you say that they should counterbalance that?
So I would say probably top 2 of the 6 needs is certainty. It's a very scary time right now for a lot of people graduating university or recently unemployed or looking to change jobs. It's a tight market and it's a very saturated market. So the certainty both of finding work or keeping work, I think is a big thing on people's minds. If that's a top need for them, that's going to cause them a lot of friction. The positive way to do that, a lot of it, the easiest way is routines, right? For example, for me, certainty is not at the top of my list. It's actually down lower. But I wake up every morning, 5 a.m. I do my personal time, meditation, go for a walk, but it's my time to do what, process my thoughts. At 5:30, hand the coffee to my wife, give her a hug and a kiss, say good morning. She opens her Bible, does her Bible study. I get my books and start reading. And till my son wakes up at 6, we don't say much to each other. We're just kind of in our own zone. So routine is a perfect form of certainty because you know what to expect. And that's all certainty is like, what's coming. Financially, putting some money into savings so that if you do lose that job, you're not going, what am I going to do? I can't pay the light bill.
Absolutely.
The other one, I think, is significance, which is I matter, I'm important, people notice me. And a lot of times that displays as ego or arrogance or those very undesirable types we see in the world. But significance can be as simple as giving, like you can get it by being a jerk, or you can get it by doing something nice for someone. In fact, I recently shared on my Substack, there's I think it's Alexander, if I remember right, it's Thomas Edison principle. You want people to like you, ask them for a favor. Ask them to do you a favor. It's counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense, but it will instantly make you more significant for them.
Thank you so much for that, Sean. Your words of wisdom is not all the reason, but one of the reasons why I made friends with you. And another reason we invited you to the show is your generosity. People, CEOs and decision makers of businesses, they hire you to give them advice. But tonight you decided to come to the show and talk to people who are at the very beginning of their career, graduates, right? I'm sure the graduates who are watching this show are very grateful to you and Chiedza and Zara because of the fact that this is a free service that you are providing, and many other people are selling this service, right? But you guys have been so phenomenally generous. You came to the show. Thank you. I am grateful. You came to the show. You shared your knowledge free with people, just because a lot of people, just like Sean said, are at the risk of getting made redundant. A lot of people are at the risk of not getting the job they want because those positions that they were targeting are gone, right? And more job opportunities are going to be sacrificed because of artificial intelligence. Well, it is a blessing in disguise, and artificial intelligence. People are using it. Look at the background behind Chiedza. Look at the background behind yourself. Look at the background behind Zara and myself. We all use artificial intelligence. Back in the day, we used to hire Photoshop artists, right? Now, almost everyone who creates content has some acceptable level of knowledge about Photoshop, right? So it's a must, right? So 2-year-olds scroll through mobile phones, right? You can see the changes coming, right? So to this day, there are people on planet Earth who have never used a phone, who never made a phone call. How many years ago was phone invented? 100 and something years ago. So I'm not saying an invention will touch all lives from all walks of life. No, statistically, it is a statistical impossibility. Okay, I acknowledge that. However, the mobile phone users are in the billions, right? And this day and age, everyone's carrying a mobile phone on them, right? So are you a podcaster? Are you a content creator? Are you creating content for those consumers out there? The consumers are ready to consume, right? They are ready to use your products. Are you creating what is needed? Because they are ready for you. Always remember, before you become a podcaster, what goes through your head is, I don't have followers, I don't have listeners. Remember, before you became a podcaster, people were born. And predominantly, almost all of them have ears and they can listen, right? All you need to do is just create your episode, give it to Zara Camp. She will enhance the episode for you and put it and upload it to the platforms that she's platforming to, right? And I'm sure half of the money that Spotify makes is because of and the amount of stuff that she uploads. She's a force of nature, and she's really quiet. She's really quiet today. Zara, tell me what you've been doing recently, and what is your advice for people who want to become podcasters?
Recently, when it comes to podcasting or when it comes to being a podcastologist, the work entails doing a lot of different things. So, for example, the majority of people who come to myself and Cyrus and ask us about our services will say, well, I have this video, it's about an hour's long and there's all this noise in the background. I want you to make it shorter, make it into smaller clips so I can use it. And the time it takes to go through the video from the beginning towards the end, to understand why you're cutting it up, to understand what the purpose of cutting up is for, I guess, to repurpose the content, there's like a strategy that has to be followed. So today I have been doing a lot of editing, a lot of audio, a lot of listening, a lot of fixing. Podcastology is about fixing a lot of noise in things, and podcasters learn to hear sounds that others may not pick up. What I'm asking you guys to do is connect with myself and Cyrus, book a discovery call, talk to us, tell us what you need, and we'll show you what we have. So we're providing advice for people who are interested in podcasting but are unsure of where to go. Myself and Cyrus have created 3 podcasters who will publish their first podcast this week. And it has been exciting because when someone comes and says, I'm interested in starting a podcast, you say to them, okay, so record yourself for 1 minute. Let's see how you sound. And they'll send maybe 10 different recordings that are like 1 minute clips. And they'll say, well, I like this one. Can I use this one? Because my voice sounds like this on this one. So you have to have a very keen eye to see that I think everyone can be a podcaster, but not everyone can understand what goes into being a podcaster, because there's a lot. It is 11 o'clock now in the UK, 11:23 in the UK, and myself and Cyrus have been working since 5, as you know, Chiedza, from yesterday's 2 hours of conversation to today, having Sean and having yourself back on again. So yes, Cyrus, I've been busy with audio. That's why I'm quiet. I've got noise. You know what it's like, Sean? Sit there with headphones like this, wondering when is this gonna finish?
You know, Zara, when people send you the files,
yes,
and you refine the audio, etc., and sometimes you refine the video for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, do they have to? Do they have to have a certain type of job, or whatever job they've got, you can help them? Or do they have to have a career? Do they have to be at the beginning, middle, or end of the career? So,
no.
So what is like what category of people usually approach you and say, okay, here's the podcast, I want to become? So is it from a certain group of people, or is it like a variety of people?
No, it's a variety. I think because on Spotify I have a lot of people who come from different countries. It's not just the UK listening. So it's a variety of people from all walks of life. Could be someone who has been podcasting but feels that their podcast needs to be lifted, or it could be a graduate who's struggling to find work, who says, well, like for example, Frank Sandalulu, I think that's his
Yeah.
name,
Yeah.
Behind the Lab Doors. And then we have What the Fontaine. So they, as you know, Cyrus, they're completely different. One's a
They
Scouser
are.
and the other one is Zambian. It's incredible. So no, there's no real, the only thing that brings these people like this, the familiarities between them, is the bravery to say, I'm ready to start. That's the only thing. But everything else, age, gender, disability, whatever it may be, there's no real like one type of person or one particular type of person. So no, just be
Thank
brave.
you.
Podcast.
You just got to be a brave podcaster before you become a podcaster, right? You have to have a podcast in your head before you become that person. Now, Chietza, you came to us at the very beginning. You told us that you had this dream in the head. You still do, and that's the aspiration. African AI auntie. For people who want to become a podcaster, what is your advice? Do they have to know English? Do they have to have a certain skill? Or what is your advice to people who just want to start and join the wave that has just started? Let's not forget, there are nearly 400 million businesses in the world. There's only 4.5 million podcasters. So it's not saturated yet, right? Remember that. So what's your advice to them, the people who want to start being a podcaster, Chietza?
Well, I'm coming from the point of setting up online businesses. That's what I'm encouraging and coaching young African students to do. So I see podcasting as another avenue to share stories and bring the humanity into what we do, because a lot of people get caught up in all the technicalities and things like that. I guess I was wise enough to figure out, okay, I've always been taught by my mother, if you don't know, find people who do know and learn with them, right? Because I also realized that, you don't have to do everything alone. So as much as you may want to figure out, okay, where do I start? Well, you could even just start by recording yourself having a conversation with one of your friends about a problem that you're seeing that you would like to solve in the community, right? That gives you ideas, or even just brainstorming, okay, this is my perspective, this is your perspective, what can we do together, for example? It doesn't have to be all high flight. I know we've got all the backgrounds and all of that we have. That ChatGPT can easily help you with as well. But even just to start, it's just basically recording conversations, right? But make it a purpose-filled conversation. So I keep going back to this aspect. Figure out which problem you'd like to discuss and have a conversation on ways that you can solve it. That is very easy. From, we have a situation about, I don't know, water shortages, or how can I learn a subject better? And when you're talking about the language aspect, what drew me to you and Zara was the multilingual aspect, because I know for the most part, most podcasts are all done in English, right? But even when I'm researching and learning stories of what African students are doing, there's a young man in Nigeria who's found ways to translate language modules into 4 Nigerian languages, including Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and another one. And a young man in Zambia, they've created a robot that is actually translating into Chinyanja and other local languages in Zambia. So again, if you look at it this way, the podcast is a place where you can show the story of what you are doing, what problems you're solving, what innovations you're coming up with. And since everybody's pretty much TikToking all the time, why don't you TikTok about your inventions? TikTok about, what value you bring and you want to share, because you never know who is watching. That's my 2 cents.
Muted.
Thank you so much, Chieta. It was valuable insight. Thank you. And thank you, Zara. So, Sean, what is your advice to people who just been graduated, and they want to perhaps change lanes? Because people are usually told, "Oh, stay in your own lane." Yeah, stay in your lane. No, you can be a podcaster in this day and age. I know someone who told us yesterday who wants to become a podcaster and talk just about paranormal activities. Not everyone believes in paranormal. Doesn't matter. You go ahead and talk about it. Okay, the world is your oyster, right? You want to become a podcaster? Go ahead and become a podcaster, right? And if you Zara Camp, be Zara Camp. Zara Camp is not going to be someone else. Otherwise, when is she going to be Zara Camp, right? So she became the authentic person. Now everyone else is trying to be Zara Camp, but they need to learn from her and be themselves, right? So learn from her, approach her. She's approachable, and send her a DM. She won't bite. Send her a DM and say, Zara, I need help. This is my podcast episode. Help me, please. And then she will help you. Trust me. A lot of people have been helped by her. By the way, Chietza, thank you for inspiring 5 people already. You haven't even started your podcast yet. Well, you are being a guest on multiple podcasts because of what you're doing, what you do. But 5 people have joined us because of you, and I have 2 words for you. Thank you. So, Sean, what would you suggest to people who want to become podcasters in this day and age? What is going through their head at the very beginning, and how should they, if it's a certain type of talk, how would you correct that? How should they correct that?
Well, first, I just want to say Zara bites like my 17-year-old toothless chihuahua. She might bite, but she can't hurt you. But on the topic of launching, this has been rolling in my head. It came into my mind at the beginning of the show. You were born a creator. You were trained to be a consumer. Cyrus, you mentioned at the beginning about 1%, and I went and verified it. Yeah, they say about 1, maybe 2% of all the millions on LinkedIn are creating. And don't wait to be ready. You will never feel ready to launch or to step into your full potential. Readiness, it's a myth. You start before you feel qualified. Your voice grows stronger in public, not in silence. My own voice developed immensely. I remember like I was aiming for like 5 to 7 minutes. My first episode was like 2.5 minutes. And I went, oh. And if I listen to that old episode, it's like, oh, I didn't have the right mic. I didn't have sound editing. It was horrible to me looking at it, but I published it. Another time I was recording a podcast. I was going through a rough patch in my own life. I started tearing up in the middle of my podcast. Sent it to my wife, said, I don't know if I should post this. She says, you better post that. Like, that's real. So the other thing, like you said, Cyrus, Zara is Zara. No one else can be Zara. Cyrus is Cyrus. No one else can be Cyrus. Chiedza is Chiedza. No one else can be her. You can learn from all these great people, but you can't be them, and you shouldn't want to be them. You were born to stand out, so why do we try so hard to fit in? And the other thing, on the other side, once you do launch, Zara and I talked about this, how early in the podcast journey, you're constantly looking at your analytics. How many downloads did I get? How many followers do I get? Blah, blah, blah. You can get trapped in this loop. Think of podcasting as a door instead of the stage. Let go of the download numbers. Let the mic be your doorway to conversations with those people that you admire. Think of it, every interview as a mentor, a referral, could even be a job lead. Don't chase opportunities, create them.
Cyrus.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, on this show, if I don't unmute my microphone, I get shouted at. Thanks, Sarah. So, well, then again, she's the collaborative director. I have to be careful in her presence. So, now we talked about a lot of stuff that Chietza has kindly mentioned. Chietza, I think we're on poster number 2 for tonight, aren't we? Zara, are we on poster number 2 for Chietza?
No, we're going to poster number 3 because I realized we answered poster number 2 last night in our conversations. So that's already a part of the recording from yesterday.
3. Yeah, thank you so much. So if you guys can see the screen right now, we're going to be talking about, very briefly, Global Degrees, African Roots podcast. This is going to be phenomenal. This is going to make a lot of noise in the near future, I can tell. So the untold truth about studying abroad, lonely, broke, and determined, featuring Chietza. Okay, so if you haven't seen
Cyrus,
this,
can I
please go.
I just ask you to quickly adjust? I actually posted the updated one at the bottom of our group chat today, so I redid all of these. Just a quick correction. So if you scroll down to the bottom, in our WhatsApp group chat,
yeah, sure, thank you.
and it has the questions underneath as well, just to make it easier for you. Sorry.
Thank you so much. So at the bottom of the group chat, yeah?
Yeah. I posted them around 4:30 this afternoon, my time.
Is that one? Yes.
I just sent it to you, Cyrus.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. There you go.
Just learning about all
thank you
this
so
branding
much.
stuff, so I thought I'd make it more uniform.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're gonna.
There we go.
Episode 3. Okay. So we're gonna read it again. So African AI on Tea podcast, episode 3, the untold truth about studying abroad, lonely, broken, determined, featuring Chietza. I see pain in this, right? So I see pain and frustration in this. What is it? What is it about? Why is this one about?
Well, for me, okay, I realized I left Zimbabwe 30 years ago at 17 years old. And I first went to Hong Kong, China to finish high school at an international school, Lee Po Chun UWC in Hong Kong. And yes, all of us students were thousands of miles away from our families, but even with all of us around us, we're all desperately homesick, right? So, and also being an international student, I was on full ride scholarship, so I wasn't allowed to work. So whatever I did get as pocket money, I had to be very watchful over. But the emotional toll of being away from family is also where I had to develop the muscles to be able to get through that. I know from a lot of times I don't talk about feelings, even as human beings. We're not programmed. I think it was Augusto Boal who came up with Theatre versus Oppression, who says 97% of communication is nonverbal. But somehow I seem to have this thing about me where I find family and community wherever I go. So in Hong Kong, China, I was actually adopted by an Australian Tasmanian family. Interestingly enough, they'd just been to Zimbabwe on holiday a few months before they met me. And so I got adopted into their family. And so whenever I needed a break from campus, they would be my, should I say, my refuge. All I had to do was get on the phone, the landlines. I called James, like, James, I need to come home. And he'd come and pick me up. So for me, even living abroad, as much as we go through trying to adjust to different cultures, trying to adjust to different ways, different food, not hearing your mother's voice. I know back in then in the 90s, I didn't even hear my own mother's voice for like maybe 2 months or so, because even when I tried to call landlines and things like that, anyway, it's a bit complicated. So I finally wrote letters to my mom probably about a month or two in. So trying to find ways to manage my emotional roller coasters going on inside of me whilst I'm learning new things, whilst being exposed to so many different cultures and people and languages and ways of being. For me, I guess it's maybe an Ubuntu programming in my DNA that you need to find your village. As much as you have teenagers around you, the wisdom of elders, which came in the form of my host family parents, they helped and support me. And the same thing came across the United States for 7 years. There was actually a pivotal story for that one, because I'd just been through some landmark personal development training in Chicago in the summer of '98. And it, awakened all sorts of things inside of me, including childhood traumas. And I had been away from Zimbabwe for a good year at that time. I was going to my second year. So staff, African and African-American staff on campus brought community members from the Twin Cities in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And they basically said, okay, we know you're a predominantly white campus. How can we support you as Black students? So I stood up in that meeting and I said, I need a mother. And I sat back down. And from then onwards, I seemed to be adopted left, right, and center, because I had my Nigerian mom, Amma. She had 6 young children at the time. And so she says, you coming home with me, you're my daughter. So whenever I arrive at a house, I literally just drop all my academic life at the door and throw myself on the floor and play like a little kid. That was my go-to. And I spent the first hour just decompressing and taking a break from all this mental gymnastics that we have to go through, and just be human in a lot of ways, if that makes sense. Because here I was at university. Yes, I'm being given the best education, but it wasn't educating me about myself. I was being programmed to fit into whatever corporate structures are in the US or British ideologies. It has nothing to do with African continents. And then from then onwards, I also was introduced to various aunties. I had literally 14 aunties in the Twin Cities who were African, African-American, Native American, even I had a Caucasian one as well, and even Asian. I seem to be that way, that I must have had a sign on my head that said, my name is Chiedza, please adopt me. So that's how I survived through that. So yes, the pain was there because of being distant from home, struggling to find meaning in what this degree will give me. I was the first one in my family to actually finish a degree. And I did it in international studies, politics and economics and development. That's what I thought, okay, let me set myself up for the NGO type, UN type track, which never happened. But anyway, that's another story. But at the same time, it's constantly trying to figure out what is my place, what is my purpose. But in all of that discovery, the importance of community around you is how I got through those years. To be who I am today. And some of those mothers are still very much in my life today as my aunties.
Thank you so much, Chiedza. I see great things in you, a great future in your, the future of your podcast. I see great things in you, and not because we're friends, but because of the fact that the things you're doing, not for one country, but for a continent. Last night, just to make sure we're not leaving any loose ends, last night you mentioned to me, I forgot to mention the name of a country. So please tell me, what country was it?
Malawi!
Malawi.
The warm heart of Africa. Actually, I have this amazing, beautiful family who adopted me again. Even though I was back in Zimbabwe, my twin sisters, I call myself the triplet. So there's it's Muntaz and Sharifa, they're twin sisters, but I call Mamifa because she'd always tell me, Chiedza, grow up! Because I'd always be, whenever I arrive at the house, I'm just having everybody bursting into laughter, telling the silliest stories. I'm like, who is this woman? But it was just, I don't know if you have those spaces where you can just arrive in a space and all you can do is just trigger laughter left, right, and center. And that's just how I've always been with them. And so I've known them, 20 years now that I've known this family. And some of them are in Malawi, some are in South Africa, some are in Argentina, and I'm still very close with the family. But I visited them in Malawi. Oh, sorry, my dear. You need to mute something because we can't hear you. No, Cyrus, you garbled, my dear. No, still garbled.
As soon as I start talking, it will start working again. So we've got I know we've got around 5 or 10 minutes left before we end the show. Today I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been listening, to everyone who's been with us from the very first go. Susan, this is the person I was talking about to you earlier on, Cyrus. So podcasts are not my niche, but I always listen to podcasts every single day, and I've really learned a lot of things that have helped me build my personal life and career through it by listening. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. So, Susan, I will connect with you because you did message me 10 minutes ago. But thank you very much for coming to the show and listening to us. Cyrus, does it work now? It doesn't. So, Sean, is there anything that you would like to say, considering we were only supposed to be here for an hour and we went a little bit longer? Sorry. Anything you'd like to add, Sean?
Well, I would say I've been on a lot of shows that go over, and even my own show goes over from time to time. One thing about living abroad, moving out of the United States and coming to Guatemala, and I've been here now 11 years, as we talked about Monday, I've learned to let go of those little things that we usually get so bound up around, right? You know, if I think about it, I was on a Zoom call and everybody's like chiming in, gotta run, got this, I got that. I understand it's respectful, but like, do we need to? It's kind of like my friends that used to say, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, TMI. Like, we feel the need to tell everybody everything we're doing. You got to run. You got to run. You can watch for 5 minutes, watch for 5 minutes. Like, I've learned to let go a lot of this things. It reminds me, I haven't read the book, but I did see the story of Jack Canfield in writing his book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Or was it the end? No, that one was really good. But there was another one, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all small stuff, right? In my learning and my coaching, you know, everything we feel that we get bound up with, it's about the stories we tell ourselves. It's about the meaning we give an event. Since we gave it the meaning, we can update the meaning. Just like, as Chiedza was saying, coaching AI doesn't always give you the best response or the response you wanted. So give it some more instruction. Give it more context, right? So you can rewrite your own story. Each morning you wake up, you've got a blank page for the next chapter of your book. What are you going to write? And I forgot to mention, Cyrus, when I was talking about the need for significance, launching a podcast is a positive way to meet the significance.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
It's still crackling, my dear. Sorry.
It was there for like 1 second too.
Yeah. No, remember yesterday you said that you need to switch something off so that it would.
It kind of reminds. Oh, there you go, Cyrus.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
And he's
Yes.
back.
So I heard you say kind of reminds you. So what was it that reminds you of? Sean, you were saying something. Sorry for interrupting you.
That it reminds me. Oh, I was going to say, this reminds me, I don't have a big fat mic like you, Cyrus. It's probably all the other equipment that's connected to it. And Zara's over there with her nifty double pop filter. I have an inexpensive mic I picked up at the local shop that's USB. And a lot of times my podcast, when I listen to it after I recorded it, there's this and I like move the cord, and I never know when it's going to show up. I can record 5 episodes and it's beautiful, and the 6th one gets that hum. So that's what
I'll help you. I'll help you with that. Don't worry. Me and Zara will help you with it. So in terms of microphone, whatever microphone, a phone, a microphone, whatever you guys have, please use that. My microphone is like, it's got mind of its own. Look how massive this microphone is, right? It's just goes to the gym, like, you know, honestly, it's its own person, right? It's got a favorite machine in the gym, and it's a vending machine. Honestly, this this microphone is massive. I can't believe I just said massive. So anyway, the equipment doesn't really determine the where a podcast can end up. Equipment is important, but you are the most important element.
Yeah, and the way I look at it, you're right. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't have to have the fancy tools for the editing, and they're nice. They make it easier.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you're on visual, lighting is important. But that's as simple as an open window.
Yeah.
And sound quality. Yeah. Make sure whatever mic you're using, that you're close enough to it and in its range so that it's getting your voice at its fullest.
Absolutely.
And other things are going to happen. Like my neighbor has a little yippy yappy chihuahua that always seems to go crazy. He can be silent for days, and I go to record, and he's yip yapping.
That is not good. That is not good.
Thank goodness for tools that will clear out background noise for you.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of creating, in terms of cleaning audio and stuff like that, me and Zara, we have meetings at least 1 hour a day. We're talking about strategy and how to resolve audio related problems. So we get audio that is in a really bad shape, and we still deliver a good job. And whether we use Adobe Audition or other tools, we make sure the client, when they get the audio, the final version, they see and hear the difference. And please do not let low quality of your work annoy you. Help is there. Okay, again, like I said last night, at the risk of sounding like Dumbledore, the help will be given to people who ask for it. I know this is not Hogwarts, but ask for help. Ask for help, and reach out to Zara, reach out to myself, and then we will help you. And you don't necessarily have to be our customer. Contact us, and we will help you. So, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Spotlight, and thanks so much for listening to it if you listen to the audio version. all of my amazing friends and family who've been watching us and listening to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Tell us, please. Go to the comments section and tell us what subjects would you like us to cover? What problems have you got in podcasting? Number one problem that people have is being fearful of tech, right? People mostly tell you, well, I don't have any knowledge about the tech. Do you really think I had the knowledge about the tech from the get-go? To this day, I don't know it all. The moment you feel you know it all, you fail, right? We study every day. Like me and Zara take time out and look at apps, look at AI tools. We sit down, Google them, search them, study them, learn about them. And remember, if you learn 20, 25 things about an app, you're already in, okay? Don't worry about it. You're already in. You already learned something about the app. It can only get better, right? So thank you so much, everybody, for joining this beautiful panel, this beautiful podcast episode comprised of Sean Michael, Chietza, Zara, and myself, Cyrus. Thank you so much for joining us and spending your valuable time with us. Send us your questions, go to the comments, let us know what you would like help with, and we will help you with it. Take good care of yourselves and see you in the next one.